So it's always been a goal of myself, my wife, the pastors. We got to encourage people to read the Word, to live in the Word. And when I saw this Immerse concept, I was fascinated. Then I got to meet Paul Caminiti and others who then told me about the possibility of having a program, a church goal of people reading through the New Testament. We presented it to the church. They got enthused. We took time, more than a month, getting ready for this. And we began the turn of the year in January. We all started reading week 1, day 1, and what a blessing. What a tremendous benefit it has brought to the Brooklyn Tabernacle.
It was a whole new world for me. I am an avid reader of my word. I like the perspective of Immerse because it gives me a clearer picture of what was really happening in that time, in the order that it was happening, the maps in the back, I could refer to those, and I feel like it relates to me where I am today as a Christian.
The lack of the chapters and verses forces you to notice things that you wouldn't necessarily notice. Sometimes we fall into the trap of quoting those quotable verses and missing the story around it. But in reading this, because I don't have the protection of the brackets of the verses, if I'm trying to explain where I am to somebody else, I would have to give the full story or like the full paragraph on the page. And in doing that, I would see like, oh, I didn't really notice this verse here or this thing here.
Initially, when I started reading, I got excited. I said, wow, this is like reading a book. I have a son, he's also reading it. And we get together and we read it, and then we do discussion. So we're all getting something out of it as a family. There were things that highlighted to me when I started reading it, and then I would put it to the side and say, can we sit and talk about it? So we did that. I would write it down, and then I'll get together with them, and then we'll discuss it.
When I read the letter to the Ephesians, for example, it was as if I was with the original hearers of that letter. Paul was greeting them and saying, this is from Paul, and greetings to you, and this is what I want to tell you, and here's my closing. You're really truly immersed in the experience of what the original hearers heard. And then at that point, you can step back and say, wow, what does this mean for me today now?
I found out through one of my colleagues that there are different versions of Immerse and different breakdowns of the Bible. So I'm looking forward to reading through them and just to see how much I can learn through this.
I've went back and reread because when the time period was over, I didn't want to stop reading it. I shared it with my daughters. I take it on trips with me. It's become like my personal devotion, so I actually love it a lot.
To me, it has been an incredible experience. Thank you so much for this project that has truly, truly enabled so many people, myself included, to be immersed in the Bible reading experience.